Can I have sandwich, please? Sandwich, please? Miss, can I have sandwich, please?
Um,
Sandwich?
Kai, I hate to break this to you. I don't think they have sandwiches here.
But sandwich?
Hello, everyone, here to you, and welcome back to the 12 Days of Gaming. And today is going to be a very special video because we're joined by a very special guest. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey everybody, I'm the Otaku artist, and it's probably been a long time since you've seen me on this channel, but I'm back.
Yeah, it's been a while. Like, I think the last time you were on this channel specifically was the Pikmin animation.
Oh wow, that was how many years ago? That was a while ago.
I still love how that one turned out. Like, the Pikmin just looked so cute, and it was honestly one of the most wholesome videos we've ever done.
Yeah, I really like how the wing Pikmin were floating in that one.
Yeah, I just wish I had more time on it because, like, you animated, like, so many more lip syncing things, and in the final video, there, Brittany was just like, open when talking, close when not talking. I was like, probably could have done a little better on that.
No, I think it's fine because the Pikmin don't have mouths to begin with, so it works.
Yeah. Oh my god, I'm romantic. Have you played Hey Pikmin?
Yes, I've played every Pikmin game. I have mixed feelings about Hey Pikmin.
So, yeah, I'll agree that game isn't the best in the world. Like, I still like it well enough, but probably my favorite thing in that game is that like in the opening cutscene, when the SS Dolphin 2 crashes, the blue Pikmin's mouth, like, it's only on screen for like a couple seconds, but its mouth is so big during that, it's so funny.
Yeah, I will say, Hey Pikmin has character. I like how there's little mini cutscenes with the Pikmin where they have like reactions to things. Those are nice. But anyway, I think we're probably getting off topic here because it is a Zelda video.
What are you talking about? This is a Pikmin game. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
This has been Pikmin 4 all along.
Yeah. You see, that's what I thought that's what I started to think, and that's part of why I started to get salty about Hey Pikmin, because I was like, is this really what we've been waiting for?
Yeah. Like, I think it was one of those things where I was released at a bad time where, like, even if it isn't the best thing in the world and those freaking bread bugs are the worst hitbox animations in the world, like, it's a fine enough game.
Yeah.
But anyway, Zelda.
Yeah, anyway, Zelda, that's true, Zelda.
Yeah, so we're about to go into one of my favorite parts in the game where after you get the hook shot, there's like a thing over by the statue, which has like the most adorable sight in the entire world.
Yeah, it's really pretty.
As soon as I can eat properly. Might be a good idea. There we go. Hey, 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 hey. I said I can aim properly. There we go. Third time's the charm. My aim is terrible. But anyway, kitty cats.
It. Kitties.
Man, that's so cute and teeny. I love the little kitty cats.
I wish Nintendo released a plushie of the Remlets so much. They're so sweet and cute.
They're
well,
so
in daytime.
adorable. They're even adorable at night. Even they're all monster teaming me.
This is one of my favorite little secret locations in the game. It's so cute.
They like follow you everywhere. And just,
Can you throw one off the cliff?
Okay.
As a treat?
Whee!
Do it. There you go.
Let's throw the ball off the cliff.
Do it. Kill the cats.
Oh, you can't roll them off the cliff. Oh well.
No, I like how they fly. It's a cute little detail.
Yeah, like the little ear flapping. It's so cute.
Yeah.
So.
So what are your thoughts on the HD? Well, I think first we should probably talk about our thoughts on the original game, but then I also would like to talk about the thoughts on the HD remake, because I love the original with all my hearts, but I have conflicted feelings about the remake.
Do you want to go first since I don't know let's play on this channel?
Yeah, sure. I love Skyward
Time's
Sword.
up. I'm just kidding.
So I love Skyward Sword so much. Like, funnily enough, the internet connection in my apartment, I named it Skyloft, funnily enough. And it's my second favorite Zelda game after Twilight Princess. I love it. The story is fantastic. I love the art direction. The music is brilliant. I love everything about Skyward Sword, and I thought it was like the so underrated and so overhated for the longest time. It just has a very special place in my heart, and I can't like say enough about how much I love this game. And if you guys haven't played it, or people hating on it is trying to drive you away, just play it. The motion controls in the Wii version are not bad. Just make sure your sensor bar is working, and it'll work fine. Now, I'm not sure I can recommend the HD remake as much because Joy-Cons are bad, and also, in my opinion, some people might prefer it, but I don't like the new controls with the controller. I really prefer the motion controls. They were a lot more fun, and I just don't like having to use the right stick to control the sword. I disagree. And some things in the HD remake look pretty good. Like an example is Link's shield. You can really tell the shimmering on that, or like Fi. And there are some quality of life changes which are nice. Like Fi doesn't hold your hand as much. So if that was a problem in the original, then you'll prefer the HD remake probably. And things like that. But you can tell that the models aren't upscaled for the most part. And since like some stuff is improved upon graphically, some things are very noticeably blurry. So I can't really say try the HD remake more than the original, because in my opinion, the original is better. But that again is, if you didn't like the controls of the original, then sure, I'd say give the HD remake a go. But if it's your first time, I'd probably say just stick with the original.
Yeah, like Skyward Sword is like my third or fourth favorite Zelda. I always go back and forth whether or not I like Majora's Mask or this one more. Lately I've been leaning towards this one again because like the story is just amazing. Like I love this game. The Let's Play I have a lot of fun memories with. I don't think it's that good to go back and watch nowadays, but I remember being really proud of it at the time because it was like one of the first big projects where I was like pretty much doing all original research. Because like, let's say Majora's Mask predated that by quite a bit. So that one I did research other people's walkthroughs and stuff. But with this one, like I kind of made my own little map about how I was going to handle everything. I was really proud of it at the time. And I still use that system for planning out Zelda Let's Plays nowadays. So yeah, I was very happy with the Let's Play at the time, even if I think I could do a better job nowadays, which I would like to redo sometime, but kind of in the middle of Breath of the Wild, and I kind of don't want 2 3D Zelda games ongoing at the same time. So
Yeah, especially since Breath of the Wild is a very big game to Let's Play.
Yeah, like I knew going into it as going to be a big one. I'm 2 years into that series now. I'm nowhere near done. Where was I? So yeah, I love this game, and I was really happy for the Switch version. I do really like the Switch version. I don't know which one I'd recommend first though. Probably this one because it's easier to access. But I will say
that is true.
that like I do appreciate they have the thumbstick controls. It's great for handheld play. I do wish that there was an option to turn off some motion controls and not others, because I love the sword combat. I don't like the loft-wing controls though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't remember having issues with the loft wing controls. I thought they were okay.
Yeah, they're fine, but my problem with it is that like you're like moving it downwards so often, and it gets a little tiring on the wrist, especially when you're like, trying to get like a right angle on it. And also, the loft wings are so slow.
I never had an issue with the speed of the loft wings, just because the sky is not as big as you think it is. I kind of wish that they went further in the quote-unquote remake, because it's not a remake, it's a port.
Yeah, it's not a remake.
And if they actually were going to remake the game, I really wish that they made the sky bigger. I wanted a Skyward Sword remake for years, and I really wanted them to make the sky bigger, maybe add a few more like mini games or just islands to explore. Because I have to say, Skyward Sword and Majora's Mask have like the best side quests of the series. They have so much character and they're so memorable. And so if they added more islands and more side quests to make the sky bigger, that would have been nice. And I this was not a very realistic hope, but in the beta of Skyward Sword, in the very middle of the map on the surface, there was supposed to be one more area which would connect the three. And that was where Lake Floria was supposed to originally be. And I was kind of hoping that if they did remake the game, they could do something with that and have a middle area. Because like in Twilight Princess HD, they added a brand new dungeon. So I thought maybe they could do something similar. But alas, Skyward Sword turned out to be like the Zelda remake that has the least new things besides like quality of life changes. It doesn't have like any new content.
Yeah, it's weird because the Zelda games, like the remakes and stuff. Well, by the way, first of all, we're about to head out of Skyloft now. We're going to go into the Faron Woods. So the Zelda remakes are really weirdly consistent about how faithful they are. I think Ocarina of Time is the best faithful one because, like,
oh, definitely.
Yeah, they really just focus on updating the graphics and including Master Quest. Majora's Mask, the new content sucks.
You see, I never beat Majora's Mask 3D. I know that there's the new fishing hole, and they changed a lot of the bosses, and I've heard so many mixed things about the bosses.
Yeah.
Because actually, the one thing I do remember from the 3DS one, which I hated, was the new Zora controls.
Yeah.
Because they make you use the magic meter. I hate that.
It's so
I don't
stupid.
like that.
They had perfect swimming controls, which is really hard to do, and they went out of their way to screw it up in every way they possibly could have.
Yeah, because the controls in the original for swimming, absolutely S+ tier. So good.
Yeah, it's like, I'm playing Majora's Mask again on Switch Online, and when I got to the swimming again, I was like, oh, I've missed you. Screw you, 3DS remake.
I want to beat the 3DS one sometime, because I have beaten the original. But I have not beaten the 3DS one. I've beaten Ocarina of Time 3D, though, and funnily enough, I was thinking of playing through a Master Quest, because I've never beaten Master Quest. I've beaten the original Ocarina of Time countless times, but not a Master Quest. And I was actually thinking about doing that the other day, funnily enough.
Yeah. Speaking of Master Quest, I have a cool story about that. So, I don't have a whole lot of reproduction cartridges, but one that I do have is it's like a ROM or sorts of the N64 version of Master Quest that was on the Wind Waker pre-order thing.
Ooh.
This one is like on an actual Nintendo 64 cartridge, so I can play that on a real Nintendo 64.
Oh, that's really fun. A few months back, I played a Zelda fan game, which I can't think of at the moment, but in editing, you'll probably see it on screen, the title of it. And it was short, but it was good. And my boyfriend had a physical version of it because it was one of those fan games that they actually released it on actual N64 cartridges, which was pretty neat.
Man, I gotta try that if it's like an actual cartridge, because it's so cool seeing stuff like that on real hardware.
Yeah, there's 2 Ocarina of Time. No, I think it's 2 or 3 Ocarina of Time ROMs that I've played. One was bad, but in a very funny way. All I will say is that in some part of the game, a fish gets milked. That's all I'm gonna say about that one.
A fish
and the other
gets
2,
milked.
Yeah, a fish gets milked. And the other 2 are short, but they're good. And I'll tell Justin the names of them, and he'll have them on screen so you guys can check them out. But yeah, Ocarina of Time fan games are fun.
Also, first name alert.
Don't you have that on your channel?
Yeah, I used to tease Green Criminals get me about that all the time because when we first started making videos, he'd call me Justin instead of Gator or anything like that, and so whenever he said that, I'd be like, first name alert.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, when I first started my channel, I was very secretive about my name for reasons I feel like getting into, but like in recent years, I don't care. My name is Justin. My name is Joey. Who knows what other names I have?
It's a secret to everyone.
Good old Pokemon references.
I was going for a Zelda reference, but I said everyone instead of everybody. Is that an actual Pokemon reference?
No, it's being silly.
Okay.
I don't know anything about Pokemon. Have you seen Emerald Co-Star? I'm an idiot. I did. I legit denied using like getting a new move in favor of like Wing Attack or whatever. I don't actually remember which move it is.
What?
James has not let me live that down since.
All right. Whenever I play Pokemon, I always choose like attack-based things. The only ones that I choose where it's like a special effect would be something like Poison or Confusion, because like obviously that's good. But like if you're increasing defense or whatever, no, go away.
Yeah, like I think my mindset at the time was I was looking it up real quick if it was a good move. The website I looked at said it wasn't. James told me that it was just a better version of something I already had. So that Pokemon's kind of been struggling.
Yeah. Anyway, so what area are we in now?
We're in the Faron Woods. I'm gonna fight a Dekababa, and pretty soon we're gonna demonstrate a really cool glitch.
Ooh. I'm a big fan of glitches.
Yeah. By the way, I gotta say, I know the HD remake hasn't really done much to improve the visuals, but man, this area looks beautiful in HD.
Yeah, I've always been a big fan of Skyward Sword's depiction of Faron Woods, although Twilight Princess will always be my favorite, partially due to the music.
Yeah. Like,
Although I do like the music in this area in Skyward Sword as well. It's very wholesome.
it's so great. The Silent Realm version is my favorite song in this game, aside from Battle of the Goddess. It is so freaking scary.
Which is your favorite? What's the scary song you were saying?
Silent Realm's version of Faron Woods.
Oh yeah, I love Silent Realm. I actually have a funny story about that. When I used to have parakeets, I used to have two parakeets, and those who have watched my channel would know Nabby and Tattle.
Yeah.
And there was one time where I had music playing, and both my birds were chirping, very excited that music was playing because birds love music, and then YouTube autoplay to the next song, which was the Silent Realm for Faron Woods, and they both went dead silent and stared at me, and it was really funny because they got really freaked out by it.
They're like, attacker artist, why are you playing this demon music?
Yeah, so true.
Alright, so the glitch, I'm trying to remember exactly where we do this at. This is easier to do with button controls. Basically what you want to do, you want to line up at this fence, and let's see if we can do it. Nope. Okay. This might take a couple tries. I haven't done this in a while, so this might not be a pleasant situation. I should have practiced before we did this.
Montage time.
Alright, since we're clearly editing this part out, I'm going to spoil the Otaku artist's next Let's Play. So, your next Let's Play...
Oh, you're going to be spoiling it for me too! What is the next Let's Play?
It's going to be Pepsi Man 64. It's
so true! I don't think anyone's going to guess what my next Let's Play is.
Mario Party.
No.
I did it! Yay! Okay.
You did it! Congratulations.
I guess we're keeping that in the video. So, yeah, now we're on the fence. Quite literally. So, we want to be very careful about this. And then... backflip! Did that not work? Why is it not working? Backflip! There we go. This part makes me nervous. Okay. Okay, let's see if we can do this. Let's see if we can do this. I probably sound like a crazy person to the Otaku artist and like stuff like that. No, damn it. Oops. I said bad.
Why are you talking so high?
that is my normal voice. This is just my commentary voice.
Oh, I have to say, before the eShop closes completely, like 100%, if you have money on there or you can transfer it, please get Spirit Tracks and Phantom Hourglass, because that is the best. Wii U Spirit Tracks and Phantom Hourglass goes hard. That's like the best way to play those two, because being able to have the two screens, one on the TV and the Wii U gamepad, it feels so right. It playing those two games like that instead of on the original is superior in my opinion. And that's coming from someone who played the original first and grew up with that. And also, I forget what it's called, but it's not Metroid Prime. It's the other Metroid. It's the Metroid DS game that's on the Wii U eShop.
Metroid
That feels, yes, that feels amazing on Wii U. So definitely get those ones before the eShop dies.
I did the glitch.
Good.
Alright, so this area right here, you can actually explore a little bit of out of bounds for Fair and Woods. If you go off that cliff over there, then yeah, you're gonna fall off normally and respawn back somewhere else. But yeah, you can see behind some assets, you can see how flat these trees actually are. This is one of my favorite glitches of this entire game, and it really bumps me out. I never showed this in the original Let's Play.
I'm always been a big fan of out of bounds glitches. They're always so fun to do.
Yeah. Like, my favorite one is Tomb Raider Legend, because there's a glitch in that one where you can walk on the air. You can see so many, like, behind-the-scenes stuff, and just see how the game works in general. It is amazing.
My favorite glitch, there's a video on my channel where I've done this. It's a live stream VOD of the Twilight Princess title screen glitch.
Yes.
That is my favorite. There's so much you can do in that, and you can... It's so fun. I love that one.
It is such a good glitch. Like,
yeah.
That's one downside of this version, is that there's a similar glitch in Skyward Sword, but it's not, like... You can't
the problem with that one, though, is, unlike Twilight Princess, with the Skyward Sword title screen glitch, the Skyward Sword logo doesn't disappear.
Yeah.
It just stays on screen, which is a little bit of an annoyance.
So during this part, if you have the beetle, make sure you have the best beetle before you do this, but you can fly around underneath the Fair and Woods and see everything load in, and you can like see the void and bat down there and stuff. It's really funny.
I really wish that the beetle was in Breath of the Wild, because it was originally planned to, and that would have just, that would have been amazing. With an open world game like that, being able to fly around with the beetle, that would have been so good.
Yeah, there's something I learned the other day about the beetle. It makes me so sad it's not in Breath of the Wild, because I had this exact same idea. So, one thing I wanted them to do, back when it was still Zelda U, that rhymed. I wanted them to do a thing where you'd have the beetle activated and you'd use the gamepad to like attach a crossbow to it and use the beetle as like to like snipe enemies. They were actually going to do that, but then when it came to Switch, they scrapped the beetle.
They also scrapped the Minish. The Minish were going to return in Breath of the Wild, and they replaced them with Koroks. And I'm glad the Koroks are back, but they could have done both, because not gonna lie, Breath of the Wild is too empty. And there are side quests, and it's nice to have the Koroks to find. But if you would have also been able to find the Minish everywhere and do little mini side quests for them, that would have been amazing.
I love how you say that. And like I have 400 pages worth of notes of Breath of the Wild, like proving you're wrong. Like...
well, what I mean is, there are things to do, but after a certain point, you kind of just have Koroks left to do, at least in my playthrough. I did all of the other side quests pretty quickly, including shrines. And after a certain point, it just kind of feels like there's not anything to do.
I guess the difference...
So...
Sorry.
Oh, no worries. Yeah, I was done.
I guess the difference is that for my Let's Play, I'm kind of going on my way to not fast travel. Because once you start having so many shrines open up and you fast travel everywhere, that's when the game starts feeling a little empty. But if you're like walking everywhere, then you get easily distracted by the littlest things, and Like, it's pretty fun.
I only started teleporting everywhere when the only things left I had to do was the very last of the shrines and just Koroks.
Yeah.
And I didn't look up any of the shrine locations. I found those all on my own, but I got to like 500 and something, almost 600 Koroks, and then that's when I was like, I'm looking up the rest of the Koroks because I did not want to have to wander that much. It still took me a long time to get those last ones, even though I knew where they were, because I had trouble figuring out some of the Korok puzzles, and the ones in Hyrule Castle are a pain to get.
I am not looking forward to recording that video. I'm just gonna say that right now.
Yeah.
So, like, Breath of the Wild is a bit of a weird space right now because, in the grand scheme of things, we are kind of almost done with it. There's only like a couple more regions to explore, and then there's a DLC and stuff. But the thing is, the amount of notes that I have, like the amount of stuff there is to do, it basically is enough for a whole other Zelda Let's Play.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like I'm weird. I like trying to plan out Let's Play so they end on episode 64 because it did 64. And for Breath of the Wild, I'm trying to do episode 128 because 64 times 2 is 128.
Also, Mario 128.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mario 128. How I love they turn into Pikmin.
Yeah. Mario 128 is such a well-known thing now that it always bothers me whenever I click on a video where it's like, you may have not heard about this before, but originally Pikmin was a Mario game, and then they act like no one's ever heard of Mario 128.
Digital gaming.
It's such a well-known fact now.
Yeah. Like, it's funny because now we're at an age where we're getting like so many behind the scenes looks at older video games. We're probably going to reach a point soon where we actually see footage of Mario 64 too.
Well, did it get that far in development?
They had we know of at least one playable demo that, it wasn't very big. It was like one level and Mario and Luigi multiplayer was happening. Because Miyamoto had commented that he had that demo running on his desk for at least a year before it was canceled. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So I guess we do. Well, the thing is, we did get that recent, and I say recent, it was like a few months ago, maybe a year ago, that N64 huge leak of all the stuff, and that's where we found that L is real, and also so much Zelda 64 stuff, which was amazing. Like the Unicorn Fountain was confirmed to be real and stuff like that. I'm really hoping that we get another leak like that, and I hope that a playable version of Mother 64 or Earthbound 64 gets released, because I'm a big Mother fan. I love Mother 3 so much, and I'm very interested in seeing what was created, how far they got before it was canceled, because it looks like they got pretty far with this little bit of footage we do have.
Yeah, this number isn't confirmed or anything, but one of the more popular rumors is that it was at least 40% done. But, like, the game was also going to be a lot bigger than Mother 3 ended up becoming on Game Boy. It was going to have a couple extra chapters and stuff, and I believe it was supposed to be integrated with a few other 64 disk drive games, because I know one thing was that Mario Paint, you were supposed to use that to be able to make faces for NPCs.
Well, the thing is, with Mother 64, it was supposed to be a lot darker than Mother 3, which sounds weird because Mother 3 is already an incredibly dark game, going through very intense topics. But according to eToy, it was supposed to be a lot darker.
Yeah, that game has an interesting history because, like, for me specifically, because that game and like the whole 64 league in general, that's kind of what killed the gaming gallery for like a year or so, because we were working on Earthbound 64 video and we had a script finished, but then somebody linked me to a new website they were working on that had so much new information, and it was like, okay,
Oh, wow.
reworking this script that's already done because this information is amazing and I don't want the video outdated. And then more leaks started coming, and more and more. And I'm at a point where, like, I'm convinced if the video gets uploaded, the next day we're gonna get a playable demo leaked.
Did you go on like Mother64 or like Starman.net for your information on there?
Starman.net, Earthbound Wiki, the website that I can't remember now, but yeah, I think that guy ended up doing an interview with Joe Connery at one point.
Oh wow, cool.
So yeah.
Alrighty, so Zelda, we're playing Skyward Sword.
That's a tutorial channel in general. We talk about one game, but then we get sidetracked by a bunch of other things.
I swear this video is supposed to be about Skyward Sword, guys.
So, we just finished exploring the Elden region, or at least so much as I care at the moment, so let's go into the Lanayru region. This one, I gotta say, I was way too harsh on this one in my original Let's Play, because, like, I don't know what it was, but I just didn't care for that one, for this place.
You're talking about, like, the water area, right?
The desert.
Oh, the desert. Oh, okay. I was thinking Nehru, and I was thinking about, like, Floria. But I love the Lanayru area. That's my favorite. The Lanayru Desert area, it's my favorite area in the game.
Yeah, I was way too harsh on this when I was younger, because, like, I think I was 18 or whatever when I did the Let's Play, and I've since replayed through the game a few more times, and I freaking love this place now.
I really like the idea of the time shift stone. I really hope they return, because it's such a brilliant idea. And it also gives context to why the Ocarina of Time works as a time-traveling instrument, because it's made of the time shift stone, which is very cool. I like that. And you actually kind of feel for the robots in this area, and the sea in this area is amazing. I love the creative idea of it just being a desert, and then you click on a time shift stone and you use the boat to actually see it how it used to be as a sea. And the dungeon in the area, there's of course 2 dungeons, but the one in the sea, it's not my favorite dungeon in the game, it's my second favorite. And I love how they incorporate the time shift stones in that dungeon, because being able to turn it into the present day and just seeing yourself surrounded by desert and then clicking on it again and then turning in the ocean, it's so well done. I love the creative decision and direction they went with this area.
It's such a good idea that they really could base an entire Zelda game around it, because, like, we've had time travel and playing Zelda games before, but I'd love to be able to, like, take that idea further, because, like, let's say they use this idea for, like, a Breath of the Wild 3 or whatever. What if they did one where the time shift stone shows you Hyrule as it currently is after the Calamity, but then they show another one that's, like, before that? Because they touched on that a little bit in Age of Calamity. You could see a little bit of Hyrule before the Calamity, but, like, not nearly to the degree that I would have liked. So, like, it's really cool, and I really hope they expand on this idea again in the future.
That's a game I need to finish. I never finished Age of Calamity, but I was enjoying it quite a bit. Yeah. It's good. Age of Calamity was good, and I'm a huge fan of the original Hyrule Warriors, so I enjoyed it quite a bit. I didn't get too terribly far, I don't think. Maybe halfway. But I need to go back and beat it, because it's fun. It's good.
Yeah. Like, my friend gaming with Pi, like, it's funny. He 100% that game in, like, a week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
See, I think I will go for 100% with it, but I was just playing for fun first. Now, one huge game I want to 100% eventually is I was trying to 100% the original Hyrule Warriors, never did, but I put like 500 hours into that thing or something. I put so many hours into it, but I now have the original, well, not the original, the remaster on Switch, which has all the DLC that I never got to play that was included in Legends and such. That I want to 100%. It's going to be taking me forever, but that is my goal. Eventually, I want to be able to say that I 100%ed Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition.
I honestly think that's like the best of the Wii U ports, aside from Tokyo Mirage Sessions, because, well, you know what? It's tied to Tokyo Mirage Sessions. I love Tokyo Mirage Sessions so much, like it has to be number one. But objectively, Hyrule Warriors has to be the best because it was already a huge game when it first launched, and then the 3DS content was really cool, but it was locked by it being a 3DS game and having a really crappy frame rate. But then having all of that on Switch, it's so good. My biggest gripe with it though, you have to re-unlock all the characters, and it really bums me out.
I really wish that there was an option to transfer your save data. I was very disappointed when you could not do that because I have put so many hours into the original. Everyone is like leveled up to the max and stuff, and now I have to do all of that all over again.
Yeah, it's like, come on, game, let me play with the hot mid now.
Yeah.
I also may love that game because, like, Lena, is it Lena or Lana? Like, I always go back to
Lana. Yeah, I think it's Lana. Yeah, I love Lana. She's an underrated character.
Yeah, she's top tier Zelda waifu.
Yeah. Funnily enough, a Zelda character is what was the first thing that was like, oh, I think I am bi, and that was when I was a kid and Minda's true form was shown off in Twilight Princess. So you can blame Minda for me.
Yeah, it's like you see her and you're like, oh, I like girls.
Yeah.
Like, I think everyone has like that story of like some kind of character that it's gonna sound very bad, kind of awakened them.
Well, yeah, there's a reason why gay awakening is a term.
I was debating whether to say that because I didn't know if that was an okay thing to say.
Yeah, that's fine. I've said gay awakening before. That's an okay term.
All right. Yeah. So like for context, I'm ace. So like I like girls. I don't like physical things though. Won't go any more further than that. But yeah, like video game waifus. Like I love video game waifus. Like Lana, Tsubasa, Lara Croft.
Girl, pretty. They pretty.
They pretty. So on the topic of waifus now.
Yeah. Wow, this video is like, this is our Skyward Sword video, and we have gone top topic so much.
I mean, also, I never shut up about waifus either, so this is perfectly on topic.
Yeah, it's like Pancake. He always talks about Shantae and the Dead or Alive girls. I think it's Dead or Alive. Is that what that swimsuit game's called? Or am I getting that mixed up completely?
That's Dead or Alive. He loves
Yeah, it is that. Yeah.
We have a funny running gag in Mario Party where, like, he unfortunately couldn't come with us for that recording trip. So whenever we'd be like, Pancake, what do you have to say about this? He would say something like, Hanukkah. What the heckity hecky poo?
Why? Why did you talk like that?
I had never seen that before. Okay, you know those bird things that drop a boulder onto your face?
Yeah?
They dropped one when I was jumping. And it like smacked me out of the air. It hurt my feelings.
Good, you deserve it.
Wow! 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 I'm shocked. Like, I'm used to James or Pancake saying that, but my goodness!
You heard me.
I like this new Otaku artist. Right, these guys right here, like, these giant moblin guys, like, they're probably honestly like some of my favorite enemies in the game, where you have to like jump over their shield and then stab their buttocks.
Yeah.
Just something I wanted to go. I always get turned around this place. Like, okay, I'm in the desert maze area, trying to get over to the shiny Zelda statue in the background. Don't fall in the into this area.
Congratulations, you did it.
Once again, congratulations. Yay, we're in this area. Ah, you are not invited to my birthday party. Alright, we made it to this area. Yay! Are you proud of me?
No.
Yay! So, going into like some of their Zelda games real quick. So, there's this one fun thing about Breath of the Wild that like people talk about every now and then. So, what are your thoughts? Does it count as a real Zelda game?
No. I have very intense feelings about Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild is not a masterpiece like everyone says it is. That's my hot take. I think it's a good game. It has a lot of design flaws that people don't notice because they're too like blind by their love for it. And I'm not knocking anyone for loving Breath of the Wild. I like Breath of the Wild as its own game too. But it removes so much like traditional Zelda values so much. It goes strays so far away from Zelda that although it has characters called Link and Zelda, if you swapped out those names, it doesn't feel Zelda, and you could easily just swap out the names, change some designs, and it's not a Zelda game. So it almost is kind of a spin-off in my eyes because it's a full-fledged game, but it removes everything there is to be Zelda. And one of my main problems is that I love the way of storytelling with the memories, but that's all there is to it. Everything else, it doesn't really feel like the world is in danger, even though it's supposed to be, because you could just kind of travel off the beaten path, do whatever, which is fun and all, but I wish there was an actual story going on in the present and not just all of Link's memories. And so when people say that they've only played Breath of the Wild, and they're like, I'm such a big Zelda fan, but they're a new Zelda fan and they've only ever played Breath of the Wild. You're a Breath of the Wild fan, but you're not a Zelda fan because you haven't played like a traditional real Zelda game. It's kind of like if you were like, I'm a big Zelda fan and you've only played Tinkle's Rosy Ruby Land, like, or Link's Crossbow Training. You can't really say like, oh, you're a big Zelda fan when you've only played something that's not the same as an actual Zelda game. So Breath of the Wild, I like it. It's a good game, although it has a lot of design flaws that people don't talk about. But it's more of a spin-off than a traditional Zelda game just because it does not play nearly the same as something like Twilight Princess, Ocarina of Time, Wind Waker, etc. So I have very complicated feelings, and honestly, I've thought about making a video just talking about my feelings on it in its entirety for years, just because whenever Breath of the Wild is mentioned, I go off on a long tangent just because I have so many like feelings about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild, it's a good game. Not really a Zelda game. It's not the best design, but it's a fun game.
I agree with some of that. The last point about you can call yourself a Zelda fan, that's where I disagree, but I'll get into that in a second. So, okay, the first thing I want to say is that there was this funny thing, I think it was in an interview with Chuck Conroy, where he quoted something from a panel or something, and he was asked a similar question too, if he thinks it counts. So, I love his response where he was all like, nobody ever says Triforce Heroes doesn't count as a Zelda game. Yes, it counts.
Well, the thing is with Triforce Heroes, that again is, even though it's canon, it's more of a spin-off game, but it plays like a Zelda game. Like, you're doing all the traditional dungeon stuff, and so, alright, but it does still feel more like a spin-off game than a real Zelda game, just because it's very off the wall.
Yeah.
But it plays more like Zelda than Breath of the Wild does, if that makes sense. Just because you've got the traditional 2D dungeons.
Yeah, the way I see it, like, I do understand that it can turn away a lot of Zelda fans because it's so different from the other ones. I kind of consider it like its own separate tier. in terms of what style of Zelda it is, because with, let's say, Link's Awakening, that's a 2D game, and Majora's Mask is a 3D game. So Breath of the Wild, I kind of consider that like its own separate thing, and Tears of the Kingdom seems to be continuing that. So, like, it's really difficult to directly compare it to another 3D Zelda game because it's so different. So
I agree with that. I do agree that Breath of the Wild is its own thing because we do have the 2D Zelda games, the 3D. Then we have like spin-offs, which Triforce Heroes is canon, but it plays more like a spin-off game. So I kind of consider it that way. But you could also put it in the category of multiplayer Zelda games, like Four Swords Adventures, and Triforce Heroes. Then you've got like the Tingle games, you've got the 2DS games, Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks, which are their own things. They still feel like a Zelda game because they've got a story, they've got that music that sounds like Zelda music, and the dungeons, they've got dungeon items. You have elements of Zelda. You have it changed a little with the controls, but everything that needs to be there to make a Zelda game Zelda is there. So it is its own thing. And so Breath of the Wild is its own thing too. But the one thing is that since they remove so much of what counts as a Zelda game in Breath of the Wild, like the music, the traditional dungeons with the items is one of the main things because you just have the Sheikah Slate, which is very cool, but you are missing the like being able to collect Zelda items. Music is a big thing. There's like it's mostly non-existent. There are like music in areas and stuff, but none of them sound Zelda, if that makes sense. Like for an example is when you go to Kakariko Village, you're not greeted with that song that everyone knows, or Goron City. There's those reoccurring music isn't there, and since the story is very non-existent, as in, yes, there is a story with Link's memories, which I really am a big fan of. I'm not going to knock that. I love that. I love the voice-acted cutscenes. I love Link's memories. That's great. But there's not really anything past that. It doesn't really feel like there's a story going on in the present, since it all takes place in Link's memories. Now, I do like what they did with Age of Calamity, because that felt more story-focused to me. And I think it's because it does take place, like, in the past and stuff. So you've got more going on there. But even though, like, Spirit Tracks, Phantom Hourglass, and things like Triforce Heroes change things and are different, you still have enough of that character and elements of a Zelda game that it still is like, oh yeah, this is a Zelda game I'm playing. And with Breath of the Wild, you have so few of those elements left, which is why it doesn't feel like a Zelda game as much as other Zelda games do that change the formula.
Man, like you mentioned the story, like that brought up a point that I was going to say where I was going to agree with you, but then I was like, wait, hold on. I don't agree with you at all. Like, as I'm less playing the game, I am realizing that the game does have a lot more flaws than I necessarily give it credit for. So, I really love the story, the structure of it, how it was basically like you're discovering it for yourself, and what you put into it is what you get out of it. I like that idea. I did always wish that it was more similar to like a traditional Zelda story, and I was going to agree with you on that, but then I remembered, wait, that's what Pokemon Legends Arceus is, and I kind of don't like how that story turned out. Like, okay, not the story itself, but how it was handled.
I haven't actually played that game yet, so I cannot comment on that at all.
Yeah, that one, the story kind of interrupts the exploration a lot. It's still a fantastic game. It's probably what made me turn into like a big Pokemon fan now. But yeah, the story, now I see why Breath of the Wild didn't go that direction.
Now my question is, have you played Xenoblade Chronicles?
Yes.
Alright, so I kind of wish that Breath of the Wild did that kind of thing where it's a big open world. And I know that Xenoblade games are not technically open world, but they are very huge.
Mm.
So they're kind of almost open world. I kind of wish that it did something similar to Xenoblade Chronicles, how that works, where you're walking around and there are points that of interest that trigger story events. I wish that it was like that. If Breath of the Wild, and again, I'm kind of reaching too much here because Xenoblade Chronicles is 10 times more, 100 times more story focused than Breath of the Wild ever would be.
Yeah.
Because Breath of the Wild is more focused on gameplay than story. And I think that's probably where most of my problems come from, because I'm one of the rare few who want story more than gameplay. And a good mix of both is like a perfect recipe in my book, which is why I love Xenoblade Chronicles, especially 3, which I'm playing through right now. It's a fantastic mixture of great gameplay with a fantastic story that wants me to keep on playing. And although I never expect a Zelda game to go as far as making story incorporated as like Xenoblade Chronicles, I was at least hoping for something like Skyward Sword, getting back to the game that we're playing right now, where it has like an actual like good story where as you go through these areas, you've got, things going on. And Breath of the Wild more so has a thing where you explore and you find little things to do. And the only like story thing is you'll get to the town and then you can do the dungeon. But I wish there was actual like characters and plot threads and things going on that make me want to go to these places, more than just exploration, where I do want to explore. The game does do a good job of making you be like, oh, what's that over there? That's pretty. I want to go and check that out. I wish it was also like, oh, if I go to that area, I wonder if I'll be able to like continue the story, or I wonder who I'll meet there. So I do wish that it was more character and story focused in Breath of the Wild, and that might have actually, if it was more character and story focused like other Zelda games, I think it might have felt more like a Zelda game to me than it ended up being. Because there are character and storylines going on in Breath of the Wild, but the story is, again, mostly just all in Link's memories. And the characters that we grow to know and love are, again, mostly in Link's memories.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see how they're going to handle it Tears of the Kingdom, if they're going to continue that style, because one big thing I want to know is like how much time has passed between that and Breath of the Wild, because I really want to see how the characters have changed within that time, because like Riju is like what, 9 or whatever in Breath of the Wild, so she's already a chief in. Okay, sorry, I got distracted because I'm flying around the Skyloft now and the Loftwing got stuck on a rock.
Good.
Yeah, I would really love to see how characters would improve, like if Riju was able to like make Gerudo Town like more powerful after Master Koga was defeated and stuff, because it is like really interesting. I also agree, I don't think they'll ever go the Xenoblade route, but also the year that game came out, Xenoblade, I ended up liking Xenoblade 2 more than Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, I don't like Xenoblade Chronicles 2 for the most part.
Yes.
Because the story did not get interesting to me at all until over halfway through the game. Until they reach, I'm not going to say what area because it's a major spoil of the game. Until they reached a certain area, then I was like, oh, actually, wait, this is quite interesting. And I really liked how the game ended and stuff. But compared to Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and 3, I do feel like Chronicles 2 is the weakest. On the other hand, I will say, Pyra, love her, best girl. Mithra's also pretty, although I don't like her personality. And Xenoblade Chronicles 1, no complaints. Excellent, beautiful. And then Xenoblade Chronicles 3, I won't say too much about that because I'm in the middle of playing it, but it has become my second favorite game of all time.
Oh my.
Because there's a certain part of the game where you have to watch like a 2-hour cutscene. It's the best storytelling I've ever seen in a game.
Oh my.
That's all I'm gonna say. The acting, superb. Anyway, that's about as much of a tangent as I'll go on about Chronicles, but Three is so good.
Alright, now I'm gonna have to get back into that because, like, I was playing Xenoblade 3. I didn't get very far into it, and I thought the intro was a little slow. But, like, then Splatoon 3 came out, and I was playing that nonstop, so I haven't gotten back into 3 yet. I think Xenoblade 2 is my favorite, purely because I think the moment-to-moment gameplay is most fun, and I like the characters.
Really
But
interesting.
I also love the original. It's one of my favorite games of all time. I never can decide. Like, my mindset right now is 2, but mostly because of Pyra.
We have very different opinions about the gameplay because I hated the gameplay in 2 because it takes like till like over halfway for you to like unlock everything, and that's when the gameplay gets fun for me. But the first like half of the game, I did not like the gameplay at all.
Yeah.
Now Torna, on the other hand, I love Torna. That was great.
You know what? I'm gonna say a hot take. I think Torna's better than 2. Like,
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree.
like
Jin is my favorite character in Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and Torna. Pyra being a close second, but Jin, fantastic character. I love what they did with him in Torna.
yeah, like Jin might be my favorite character in the series aside from Pyra, but that's mostly because of waifu bias. Um, so, like the ending of the game is legit probably one of the few times like I do get emotional in games, but Torna's ending is one of the only ones that's actually made me cry because it is so beautiful.
I got. It didn't make me cry, but it did make me feel something.
Mm-hmm.
I have teared up, and it hit me really hard. Not the ending, because I am not close to beating Xenoblade Chronicles 3 yet. I'm on chapter, I think, 6 at the moment. But I have to say, during that big moment where it's like 2 hours of cutscene, that hit me hard. That was incredible.
Like, are you exaggerating? Is it actually 2 hours of cutscene? Because
I'm not exaggerating. It's basically 2 hours of cutscenes. You get to walk around in short intervals. But it's practically 2 hours. But let me just say, it's like the best cutscenes you'll ever see in a game. Like, you will be like, it's not the type of 2 hours of cutscene where you're like, when am I gonna get to play the game again? It's like actually very, very interesting, and it makes you feel a lot. But yeah, it's they kind of pull a Metal Gear where they're like, it's cutscene time, and then you like have a little short almost movie. But it's so good. I love what they do, and it made Mobius N my favorite character. And other than that, I won't say anything more than that because I don't want to spoil. But brilliant. Anyway, we should probably get back to Skyward Sword though.
So this is probably gonna be the last thing we'll do in this video. I did not expect this video to go on for this long, but I just love Skyward Sword, so I'll keep playing it forever. We're gonna do the Silent Realm for Fair Woods because this is my favorite one in the game. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like a lot of people get freaked out by this. I freaking love these. These are so cool.
I got freaked out by it a lot as a child, but even when I was freaked out about it as a kid, I loved it, and I still love the Silent Realms. They're one of my favorite parts of Skyward Sword because they do what they're trying to do, where they have like a fear factor to them, and it's very anxious and anxiety. And when you do run out of the tears and all the statues awake, that is it does a good job of scaring you, like, oh no, I'm screwed. And I think my favorite Silent Realm is the last one, the fourth one, which is Skyloft.
Yeah.
I think it's really nice that because when I was first playing through the game and they were like, we have one more Silent Realm for you, the fourth one, I was like, where the heck would the fourth one take place? And then when they were like on Skyloft, I thought that was really cool. I thought that was a really nice way to end things and go back to the very beginning of the game.
It's one of my favorite tropes in games where you have like a challenge in an area you've been through a million times before, and it really tests your knowledge on how well you actually know this place.
Yeah.
Because like, okay, it's kind of a weird example, but it's the first thing that came to mind. Epic Mickey does something similar, because you go through Main Street so many times throughout the game, but then there's an event towards the end where there's things happening, and you kind of have to figure out how to like properly platform around the towns again, and it's really cool. I don't think Epic Mickey's going to get a Switch port anytime soon, but if it does, I'd be really happy because it's one of my favorite games ever, but it's kind of stuck on the Wii and has a crappy sequel, so I don't think a lot of people will play it right now.
I own both the original and the sequel. I have not played the sequel. I almost beat the original. I got to the final boss and got stuck on it, and then that was it. Granted, I was a child, so that's probably why I got stuck on it. But I really liked what I played of Epic Mickey. I thought it was really creepy and really nice. But getting back to Skyloft and Skyward Sword, another thing that I love about Skyward Sword is the hometown hub that you go to throughout the like entirety of the game. It's so peaceful. The music is just very, very calming. It feels so wholesome, and the side quests there are fantastic. I really like how the town like grows as you like finish side quests, and the shops. The shops are always useful throughout the entirety of the game, and actually gives you something to spend your money on. Which some Zelda games have this problem where they give you money, but there's no point in actually spending rupees. This game actually has a point with being able to upgrade all your equipment, making different types of potions if you have bugs or materials. That's another thing Skyward Sword does that I love, and that's the material system. Which Breath of the Wild did take some things from Skyward Sword, which I was a fan of, such as the material system. They went more in depth with the breaking mechanic, because in Skyward Sword you can just break your shields. In Breath of the Wild you can break the rest of your stuff, which I do think is fine. I like that. And the stamina meter. They improved upon that in Breath of the Wild so much because you can actually upgrade it. And that is something that I was one of the few people who really liked in Skyward Sword. So to see it come back but improved upon like further by a lot, that is one thing I will say that's good that Breath of the Wild did. I really like that they brought back the stamina meter and made it better, because I already liked it in the original, but it is clearly superior in Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, like, go back to the town real quick. I think Skyloft honestly is the best town Zelda's ever done, because even if it's a little lame, there's only one town in this game, the amount of stuff to do in it, just constantly, there's always something for you to do when you come back here. There's the goddess chest, there's upgrading your stuff, there's like a crap ton of side quests. It is so good. Also, we finished the side of it already.
I think that I never really was disappointed there's only one town, because it's a good contrast between the surface that is mostly uninhabited by Hylians. Although I don't know if I don't think at this point they're called Hylians, but to only have so few people in the sky in this very small yet thriving community, and then having a bunch little amounts of people on the islands around Skyloft, I think it was a good contrast between them and then having these little civilizations of people on the surface where even though they're big areas, they don't really exactly have a town, but they don't really need a town just because they're either like robots or they're Kikwi, which are, even though they're intelligent, they are, I love them! The Kikwi are more like animal than human. So, and then we have I like to call them the Beta Zora creatures, because I never remember what they're actually called, and also they're like, obviously they're like the ancestors of the Zora.
I think they're called Parellas.
Yeah, that's it. They don't really need a town per se, because they just got like a big lake to swim in. So I like what Skyward does with the one town, because again, there's only one town, but it works with the story, and actually does, like, it works with the tone. It does make you feel like, okay, yeah, there's only one like place where humans live, but even though that's true, there is like a thriving community of other creatures down below, even if they aren't so like advanced as to have towns and stuff. And it works, especially with the side quests majority of them taking place in the sky.
Yeah. Like, I remember one common theory about Breath of the Wild back when it was still Zelda U was that, like, we didn't really know much about the Hyrule in that one yet. One theory I read which came true was that it was going to be about, like, it was going to be like a sequel to Skyward Sword about them finding Hyrule, like establishing all the towns.
Oh yeah, I remember those theories. It all was because of how the sailcloth was in the beta footage.
Yeah.
That's why everyone was like, oh my gosh, Skyward Sword, and I was hoping for that too.
Oh, good old Miiverse post. Like, that's the big thing I was thinking of when I was telling that story.
Yeah.
Alright, so I think that's pretty much everything that I wanted to demonstrate in the game. So if you'd like to play this game for yourself, do it. It's awesome. It's like one of the best Zelda games of all time.
It good. I think that Ocarina of Time is like probably the best first Zelda game to play just because it has the most Zelda-y stuff in a Zelda game. Like, once you play that, you kind of have a general idea of how other Zelda games will be. And it familiarizes yourself with just kind of concepts that Zelda have, or like races, or like story, like how it feels. But I would say that Skyward Sword is not a bad second choice, because if you like the idea of good gameplay, I know that's a controversial thing to say because a lot of people don't like the gameplay of Skyward Sword, but I really like it. If you are fine with motion controls, if you like motion controls, and you like a game that has good gameplay, good side quests, and a great story, then yeah, I'd say Skyward Sword is a good first pick. As long as you're fine with the motion control thing, play Skyward Sword. And even if you don't, there is always the option of using a controller. Even if I particularly didn't like it, it is an option. But yeah, get Skyward Sword. It good.
If you like good gameplay, play Skyward Sword.
Yeah.
Alright, so thank you all so much for watching this video, and thank you, the Otaku artist, for joining us today. It was really nice having you back on the channel.
Yeah, it was really fun. I'd like to do another video like this sometime.
Woo! Let's record Skyward Sword again! Hi everyone! Just kidding. So if you'd like to see the Otaku artist channel, there will be a link to the videos on screen. Are you gonna have a video by the time this comes out? This comes out like towards the middle of the month.
Probably not, because this animation has taken forever. I probably will, but hey, there are a lot of videos on my channel to watch already. And I'm not dead. I am coming back to YouTube eventually, so you can subscribe, and then you'll be notified. Like, I can talk. You'll get notified when I'm actually alive on YouTube again, which won't be as long as you would think it is. So that's your reward for watching this video. If you have watched my channel before, I'm not dead. I am returning to YouTube. There you go. That's the spoiler.
I think I'll have a link to your like Runway Guys animation because that's my favorite one. So that's probably going to be the link on the video.
Yeah, that works. That's the most popular video on my channel.
Alright, thank you guys so much for watching this episode of the 12 Days of Gaming. And until next time, Lady Gator to you. Oh yeah.